Hey guys, my name's Kai. Welcome to Kaza. Today we've got a custom PC build going for you. I'll be showing you the parts, obviously, as well as the monitor, keyboard, and the mouse and all that stuff. Let's get to it. Here we have the CPU, and that's the i5-6600K. It's currently the best gaming CPU at its $200 price point. This right here is the Samsung 950 Pro 512GB SSD. I blew $300 on this because it is the fastest consumer-grade storage currently on the market, and also because I'm an impulsive child. For cooling, I was basically forced to go with the CryoRig C7 because it was the only reputable cooler I could find that would fit into the case and keep my CPU within safe temperatures. These were unnecessary, but I decided to pick up these speakers because they output amazing sound for only $12. Now for the memory, I just got two 8GB sticks of DDR4 running at 2133 MHz. The mouse is pretty straightforward. It's made by Kensington, it's wired, it has an optical sensor, it's black, and it's a mouse. For $6 each, I got two Cooler Master Blade Master fans. Quiet, solid, inexpensive, they're exactly what I needed. This keyboard is by Tomoko. It's a real mechanical keyboard and it feels great. The metal backplate and water resistance also make it excellent for entry-level gamers. The Asus Z170i Pro Gaming motherboard was pretty much the only choice I had when it came to overall quality for the price. It has all the bells and whistles available to Z170 packed into an ITX form factor. I got this power supply from Silverstone. It's 500 watts and fully modular, so it gives me some extra space to work with inside the small case. This is the GTX 1070. It's a monster at 1080p, and I opted for the Founders Edition because the blower style cooler will blow the heat directly out of the case, which is especially important in compact systems such as mine. The Fractal Design Node 202 stood out as the only case that I could spend my money on. Under $100, very well built and intuitively designed, it provides for a sleek, out-of-the-way system that, in spite of its small space allowance, is very straightforward to build in. I liked this 21.5-inch 1080p 60Hz monitor from Acer because of its clean look and thin bezel. It also has a nice magnet on the base, but I don't know what I would use that for. So I could have done this to be an actual tutorial build for building a PC, but there's 1,000 YouTube videos on how to do that out there. So screw you, go somewhere else to find that. This is more about my life story and just how important it is to all of you people out there sitting behind your computers, just waiting to comment mean things at me in the YouTube comments below this video that hasn't gone up yet, because I'm sitting in my room watching the unvoiceovered footage and there's nothing in it. I mean the camera just zoomed out from the motherboard and now I just installed the CPU. Oh no, I didn't, not yet. Okay, I'm about to install the CPU cooler. Okay, I just flipped over the motherboard with the fan on it, and I'm putting the backplate on with the Intel side up because it's an Intel motherboard. I have to put that on, and then you have to screw in some screws with the nifty little screwer that they give you. Actually, they're nuts. They're not screws, they're nuts. So you put the nuts in. I don't know what to say about that. You just put the nuts in. That's all there is to it. M.2 slot. That's what we're doing. The M.2 drive, that super fast thing that I'm probably never going to actually take advantage of. I just have it because it's really awesome to have. So yeah, you poke it into the slot. It's gonna kind of stick up until you push it down and screw in a screw at the end to hold that down, and then it's basically just 100% secure. I'm bored. I'm so bored. I just want to get this video up and over with. Okay, so I'm plugging in the CPU cooler fan into the CPU fan slot. It's different from the other ones. I don't know how. I just know that it is, and it's not quite the same if you plug it into a chassis fan. More stuff. Oh, the DIMMs, the RAMs. The RAM, memory sticks. So yeah, you have to align the notch in the DIMM, in the RAM stick, with the sort of space in the slot that you can't actually put anything in. Then you pull off the tabs at the ends of the slots and push the stick in, and as the stick goes all the way in, the slots will pop up. Right here, what I'm doing is a test boot. I don't have anything actually in the case yet. It's all connected to each other so that it's going to run. Everything's in the motherboard, the CPU cooler's on, and I'm just testing to see if it all works at this point, because if it doesn't here, it's much better to find out here than to find out later on once everything's in the case. So, because there's no power switch on the system, you have to use the screwdriver to short out 2 different pins on the motherboard. I didn't have the power supply on, so that's why that first time didn't work. But yeah, use a screwdriver, short out the 2 pins, and if everything works correctly, you're going to see a boot, just like that Asus logo on the screen. That's it. That's all you got to do. Next step. So here's the case. I don't know what I'm doing. Kai, what are you doing? Oh, there are screws holding the case together that I took out, that I didn't show you that I took out, because I don't know, maybe the camera died. Okay, case is open. Do not ever forget to put your I/O shield in first, because it will almost always mean completely dismantling your system to put it in, and it's absolutely necessary to have that in, because I said so, and because anybody else will, probably tell you that it's a good idea. Put the motherboard in, make sure you align the ports with the holes in the I/O shield. Screw it in with the proper screws the first time I did this, because yes, this is a retake. The first time I did this, I used the wrong screws, didn't know, so we had to take it apart and use the correct screws. So this retake it's a retake. What am I pointing at right here? I don't know. There's something, that was just a visual of the screws, so you can see what the screws look like. So to actually do anything with the fans, with the case fans and everything, you have to push like 100 different little tabs to take the case cover off of the actual sort of scaffolding of the case. So you had to do that. Here I am with the case fans. I'm putting some pads on the corners so that the vibration of the fans isn't making all kinds of noise. There it is. See those 2 arrows? One's pointing in the direction that the air is flowing. The other's pointing in the direction that the fan is spinning. I'm running out of things to say, but this footage will keep giving me something to talk about. Kai, move faster. I need something to talk about. Right there is the filter, the air filter underneath the fan right there, so you can see when I put that in place, it's going to sit there magnetically and keep dust from getting in. To a certain point, there's all kinds of dust here. It's so dry here where we are, so dust is going to get in. Just less is going to get in because of that filter. What are you doing, Kai? Hurry up. Hurry up. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Okay, back to fast speed, because that was too slow. Okay, is that the second fan? Nope, that's still the first fan. Wow, boy, Kai, are you slow. First fan just about in, putting this last, screws in. It's gonna fit, it's gonna work nice. I promise. Come on, screw it. Just screw it. Get it over with. Oh, tucking the cable in so that it doesn't get in anybody's way. Okay, so there's the second one, just lapsed, just faded to it because I didn't want to show you that, because that would take forever. Okay, both cables together, plugged in. I think they're plugged in, yeah, because there's so much length to those cables, I plugged them each into their own chassis power port. If I had a larger case, I could have used a splitter and powered them both through the same port, because most motherboard chassis ports will be able to power two 12-volt fans. Just something nice to know. What am I doing? Oh, USB 3.0. That is going under some cables. What is that? Oh no, the USB 3.0. It's pretty obvious which port that goes into. I think I just did the HD audio. That one's pretty obvious too. If you're not sure, check the motherboard, what's it called? What is that thing called? The motherboard manual, right, the motherboard manual. Check the motherboard manual. Power supply. So I didn't know this at first, but there's this sort of frame that you attach to the power supply, and then you attach that frame to the case. I thought you had to fit the power supply in and just screw it straight in, but you do not, and this, what I'm doing right now, makes it way easier. It's like 1,000 times easier. I'm so glad I figured that out. Yeah, fan side down, because there's an actual vent on that side, as opposed to fan sort of up, because, yeah, there's no vent on that side. See, there's me screwing in the actual sort of frame instead of the power supply the other way. It's just wrong. Cables, lots of fun cables. So I think that is what am I doing? I think that's the CPU power cables, maybe not, whatever. Like I said, this isn't a tutorial. I'm narrating what Kai in his past life is doing. He's screwing with like 100 different cables, and in real time he was really, really irritated and short-tempered right then because it was hot and there was very little ventilation and it was stuffy, and this was the second time he'd done it, so I just wanted to get it over with. Alright, back on to the graphics card. To put the graphics card in, you have to take out these PCIe slot covers. Keep the screws in though, because you don't need to take the screws out to put the graphics card in, and you don't want to lose the screws. Okay, so this PCIe riser card, it's used to basically bend PCIe slot and make it longer so you can fit the card in perpendicular to the way that it's comes out of the motherboard, so that it'll actually fit into this case's form factor. There's the beautiful GTX 1070. Like I said, overkill for a 1080 screen, but I bought it. Criticize me in the comments if you want. I don't care. So yeah, so you just slot the ends into the PCIe slots, and then just do what feels right. You have to screw the riser card into this sort of middle bridge in the case so that it holds itself in place. It's not completely necessary. I think if you're not planning to move the case around a lot, it would be perfectly fine not to, just because the card itself holds the graphics card itself holds the riser in place, just because it's stuck into that pretty firmly. So re-securing the graphics card, because I accidentally dropped it in footage that I did not just show you. There's the case. There's all the stuff put in. Closing the case up because everything works, because I checked earlier. There's the screws. This is like reverse of how you should take the case off, because I didn't show you that. So just imagine doing this backwards. It's been a month since we filmed the stuff that you just saw, and I mean, long enough for us to change the name of the channel, right? Zach, wake up.
Yeah, we changed the name. Well, we were gonna make it Kazaka or something like that to begin with, but then
it was supposed to be Kazaka, Kazaka, for Kai, Zach, Caleb. But then we were like, let's just make it Kaza for Kai and Zach, and then later on when Caleb joins, then it'll be Kazaka. But then we thought that would just be like pulling the rug out from your feet, because I mean, if we have, 1,000 or 100 or more than 2 followers, by then they'll be like, wait, what happened to the channel name? We'll have to make a whole video explaining that. So instead, we just change it right from the start. Back to the computer. This is it. I mean, I loved putting it together on PC Part Picker, looking up different reviews, trying to find the right parts for me, and watching it all come together. The process of actually filming while building this, it sucked, okay? It was hot, and the camera kept dying and running out of storage at different points, and so we would take super long breaks between, and it was horrible. And I was trying to coach Zach on how to pull, like what to point the camera at, and while I'm also trying to fight with these pieces, trying to make them fit without breaking anything, troubleshooting as I go, all this stuff. It came out a lot better from what I've seen in the recordings. It came out a lot better than I thought it would when I was actually taking part in it.
I knew I was going to say it because it was a symbol, but when he finished, I said, "That's it?"
Yeah, right. I was closing the case up, and Zach goes, "Wait, that's it?" And I kind of felt the same way, because the build itself was way shorter than I had anticipated, even though I'd gone through the parts and the build itself. I'd gone through that in my head. The monitor is amazing. It's so just
Every time
So
I think of
straightforward. It's not gaudy. I love the monitor. 60 hertz, 1080p, great. These little speakers, little tiny things. I said that they're $12. They're
see
amazing.
them?
They're tucked behind the monitor right here, so I don't even see them most of the time. The mouse fits my hand really well. No complaints. I don't really know that much about mice. This keyboard though, this keyboard is amazing. Okay, so the GTX 1070, it just blew my mind. So I had run Unigine Valley on my MacBook. I don't know if you can see it, but my MacBook is right here. And there's only the integrated GPU on the whatever laptop i7 they use from 2012 or whatever. So I ran it on here, and it was, I mean, it looked pretty cool. But then I watched it on here, and the 1070 just like blew it out of the water. It blew my mind. It was just so crisp, so beautiful. Alright guys, that's all we have for today. I love this system. PC Master is for life. We're gonna get this guy to ascend one of these days.
If you didn't like the video, don't dislike. Just write what you didn't like in the comments.
Just focus all your rage into the words you put without, you know, hitting that thumbs down. Once again, everybody, my name is Kai. His name is Zach. This is Kazaka. Caleb's kind of right here, but he's not actually here.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe because we'll probably have some more videos.
See you next time. We might get
We're gonna have more videos.
We will have more
videos. Yeah, I swear.